Yes. How are you today? Hey guys, welcome to Genetics Don't Count. My name is Jeremy. This is Abe. That's your intro.
In this video, we're going to be talking with Jeremy Nguyen about our experiences at this USAPL Summer Power Fest this past week. That would have been July 15th, probably. Who cares? It was this past week.
15.
Look it up.
Sounds good.
Look it up if you want to know. So I handled Ruth. That was it. Who did you handle?
I handled Josh, Nathan, and Marty.
Okay, so Semi-Marty?
Semi-Marty.
How do you mean semi-Marty?
I had someone else help me with handling because at the Summer Power Fest there were 4 platforms, and 2 of the people I was coaching on was on platform 1. The other one was on, or Marty was on platform 4. So
yeah, so we'll get into that. Houston traffic is terrible. That's one thing. See, I like Houston. Also, shout out to Texas Elite Barbell. We trained there on Friday, and cleanest powerlifting gym I've ever been to.
Oh yeah.
And great staff. Teresa and Josh. I think the other guy's name was Josh. Yeah. Teresa and Josh were very hospitable, so I want to give them a shout out. But Ruth, Travis. So yeah, Ruth and Travis did early registration on Friday. Did Marty do early registration?
Marty did early.
So Ruth, Travis, and Marty did early registration. Josh came later on Friday night, and am I missing anybody?
We weren't sure.
We weren't sure about Nate. No, I don't think Nate did because he was late Saturday morning. Yeah. So pretty much Ruth, Travis, Marty were checked in and ready to go Saturday morning. All they needed to do was weigh in, and then Nate, Josh. Yeah, Nate and Josh did it Saturday morning, which is not bad because we were there early enough.
Yeah.
But
especially him.
especially him. But so I was nervous myself because going into the meet, I was handling Ruth, which if you don't know this by now, you probably never watched this video before, or you never watched the channel before. But Ruth is my girlfriend, and handling somebody who's your significant other is pretty tough. But I was really stoked for her because she made weight. She dropped down to the 57 kilo class, which she was expecting to be in the 63 kilo class, which is good for her. I didn't have any influence in that diet. That was all her. So if you're looking for diet coaching, hit Ruth Barajas up. But that's how my morning started. I didn't keep tabs on you. But so how were your lifters Saturday morning? Like once registration started?
Once after weigh-ins, they just started drinking water, and they were all super hyper, super ready. They won't sit down. They won't do anything. They were just like batteries, just completely going.
How did you handle warm-ups?
Warm-ups. So my thought process was, all right, they were on, the 4th flight or the 3rd flight, and I was like, all right, let's get them warmed up. Like 2nd flight, 2nd set, like halfway 2nd set. All right, started to do that. Maybe should have started a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So for some context, so with each flight, what'll happen is when your lifter is gonna go up, you want to make sure that they have enough time to warm up, but not have too much time ahead of time to where they're sitting around doing nothing. So that's what you ran into.
I ran into where they were getting ready, they were getting good. It's just the 2nd flight, there weren't that many people.
No, yeah, because Ruth was flight A. Well, we'll just call him 1. For platform 1, Ruth went up in the first group.
Yeah.
And then there was a second group after Ruth, and that second group moved super fast.
Yeah, they only had like 8 people, or probably even less.
And then after that was Josh's group.
Josh and Nathan's group.
Josh and Nate. So Josh and Nate were in the same one. They were in the same. I think it was like 74 kilo.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah, 74 men open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they were about midway through their warm up, and all I hear is, Josh, you're in the hole.
Yeah. I went there and I saw that Josh was in the hole, and then I ran back to the warm-up area and I said, Josh, drop everything. Craig's in trouble. And he wasn't even done with his warm-ups, but he ran over there.
He still had like
A couple sets.
2 more warm-ups to go.
Yeah.
And then Nathan luckily only had 1.
Yeah.
The main thing that was timing.
Mm-hmm.
Just timing the warm-ups, timing, just getting everyone prepared, telling them when to rest, telling them when to get jazzed up.
Yeah.
And just timing.
What did Josh end up getting? What did Josh and Nate end up getting on their squat? Their heaviest squat. Did they end up going 3 for 3?
Yeah, both of them luckily went 3 for 3 on their squat.
Okay.
Josh got 172.
It's like,
his,
like 3?
or 172.5.
It's like 360?
So 380.
380?
So he got 380 for his last squat.
Do you remember what Nate got?
Nathan got the same thing.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate is trained by Darrington Wright, and Josh is coached by Anas.
Yeah.
Anbar.
Which if you know this channel, you know who Anas Anbar is. He's my coach too, and he's your coach too.
Yeah.
So, and he's our friend. So is Darrington, on a lesser scale, but
Darrington's friend.
that's so cool. Nate doesn't. I mean, Darrington doesn't watch these videos anyways. He just sees the upload and dislikes them. He's too busy rooting.
Yeah.
he's rooting for us.
We'll talk about rooting here pretty soon.
Okay, and so Josh and Nate ended up doing well. They got what they needed to on squats, even though
They did really well on squats.
even if it was rushed.
Yeah.
So with Marty, once you got finished with Josh and Nate, you had to transition over to Marty, and you had somebody helping you out.
Yeah.
Was that Aram?
Yeah.
Okay, Aram. Shout out Aram if you're watching this video. If you're not watching this video, still shout out. But so when you went over to Marty, how was it? Because Marty is a relatively big guy.
Yeah.
He's very strong,
Yeah.
and he has a very bold personality. How do you handle somebody like that at a meet?
For handling him specifically, it was just having him warm up and then having him try to sit down, because he knows literally everyone behind the curtain.
He was walking everywhere.
He was walking everywhere. I was like, you're about to go lift.
Come back.
Maybe sit down right there. You know, I tell him to go sit down. He's sitting down. I turn around. He's gone. He's back now.
Yeah.
He's just gone. He went to Flavor Town. So,
All right.
I mean, for keeping up someone like Marty, you know, that wants to talk to everyone, that wants to just be everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of hard.
And how did he end up doing on squats? Did he go 3 for 3?
Not quite.
Or was it? I think it was 2 for 3.
The squats? I think he went 3 for 3.
No,
Really?
I feel like he didn't. We can look this up. I'll look it up right now. But so, I guess once we transmit, I'm a fucking retard, dude.
You're baby driver now.
Once we transition back to bench, because this was a fast meet.
Yeah.
Like if you've never been to a powerlifting meet, powerlifting meets are usually slow as hell, man. Like they go for the whole day pretty much. But this one, we got to bench about 11 a.m. Maybe 12? Yeah, I mean, right around there. So Marty's third squat got red lighted for depth, so he went 2 for 3. But this was his first USAPL meet as well. And I mean, it's a pretty known meme that the USAPL is pretty strict on depth with squats. I had some experience with that as well, but that's another video. So transitioning to bench, we were going through this meet super quick, and I think a lot of that played a role with how we warmed up. How did Nate do on bench, and how did Josh do on bench?
So Nate went 3 for 3.
Okay, what was his heaviest?
For his highest was 132.5.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh yeah, that was a PR for him. That was a big PR.
That was a big PR for him.
Like 290?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. He told me.
Because with him, it was a lot different because the sheet that I was given was a little too low for him. So I had to add, I think it was 2.5 kg.
So you made that call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also had the permission of his coach.
That's good.
Yeah. Because luckily he texted Darrington and said he was feeling a little too light for him. So he said, I had 2.5 kg on bench and then 5 on deadlift.
Yeah. So what sheets were you given? What do you mean by sheets?
So he was given, or all of them were giving me like a temp sheet. So they have where it's their first, second, and third tries, or their attempts.
Yeah.
And then they have a percentage of how much they're going to go to.
So you pretty much have the first, second, third already planned out for worst case scenario and a best case scenario?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's worst case, best case, and then just what they say is reach.
Like if they're really good?
Yeah.
Yeah, a reach.
Just
Yeah.
really, really feeling it.
Yeah.
Nathan was at that reach and then more.
And then some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
with the again, because you were given permission from the coach, but you were there at the meet as well. With a jump from, and this kind of transition into Josh, with a jump on a first to a second to a third attempt, there's a lot, I guess, that plays part, or there's a lot that plays a part in identifying how much weight, because even if it's really light, it's tough to decide, okay, like this is super light, but you don't want to make a 5 kg jump, or you don't want to make a 10 kg jump, especially because that could completely shock the system and cause a miss.
Yeah.
Did something like that happen to Josh?
Yeah. So what I did was, his first attempt was easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy?
Yeah. Just, it looked like RPE 5, RPE 6.
Yeah. I was there.
Goes for his second bench, it went up really smooth, very easy for him. RPE 7.5.
Yeah.
It looked super easy. It looked super smooth. It didn't look as hard as what he thought it was, which was RPE 8.
Yeah.
It looked like a 7. So I thought, he's got this.
Let's get it, yeah.
So then that's where it all fell down.
Literally.
Yeah. And I made the call. Yeah, it was a little too heavy.
Well, that's the thing with being in a meet atmosphere. So if you've never been to a meet and you don't really, or it's not just the competitive atmosphere is contagious, not just to the athlete, but to the coaches sometimes too. So you'll be there, you'll see the lift and your hype, and you're like, man, they get that pretty easy. They can get more. And then you make the call. Sometimes it's a good call, sometimes it's a bad call. And regardless of the situation, the call, as long as you can justify it, whether it's a hit or a miss, you have something to work towards in the future. I mean, of course, in hindsight, you can go back and you can change it, but in reality, what's done is done, and the situation is you made the call out of his best interest, and only thing he can do is move on and get better at that, and you can get better as a coach too. So how do you go into deadlifts with Nate and Josh?
Nate and Josh. This time I got the time just right.
Ooh, Goldilocks.
After hours of getting the timing wrong, I had to get it right once.
Exactly. Which I think in a meet, the deadlift, it can make up a lot of lost pounds. Because I mean, with a bench, if you miss oftentimes by kind of a narrow margin. Yeah.
Because with that, you can usually make it up with deadlift.
Yeah, different with squat, but with bench, you can usually make up what you missed on bench with deadlift.
Because squat is the first thing.
Yeah.
You can't really make that up on the bench.
Exactly. So when you're going into deadlifts, you get the warm-ups right, going up to the platform. How did Nate and Josh do?
So Nate went 3 for 3 again.
Okay.
He had a 9 for 9 meet, and he went way above his meet.
Yeah.
So Josh did 2 for 3. And then luckily I was just talking to his coach.
Yeah.
And I had to give him
The
a
bad
certain
news.
number
Oh.
to reach for qualifying.
So on his third deadlift, in order to qualify for nationals as a 74 kg open lifter, you gave him that third attempt with the permission of his coach in order to give him that fighting shot. Yeah. So what do you think happened there on the third deadlift? Was it just too heavy?
Yeah, it was just a little too heavy, but it's just one of those things where you had to go for it.
Exactly, not what if. Yeah.
There's no way to get that back. And I gave him his 1 and 2, and then I just give him full beans on.
Yeah, all the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know where you can get some good beans? Flavortown.
Ooh. Diamonds, drivers, and dives.
By the end of the day, it was just kind of, and because at this point it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, so at this point it's 3 o'clock, and the meets never end that fast.
No.
So
the meets usually end at like 8 o'clock at night. Everyone's super tired.
Yep.
Everyone wants to go home. Nobody wants the medals.
no one wants the medals.
Wants the medals. They're the medals that are left over from last year.
You get yeah, exactly. But we stayed.
Actually, 2 years before.
We stayed for the medals this time.
Yeah.
So we stayed till about 5. We get our medals, and we were talking to Jason Mike, Mr. Athletic over everything on IG, and he had a good meet too. I know he got a 600-pound bench. That was fucking crazy, dude. I was looking at that shit. I was like, man. We'll get him interviewed on the channel later, but
I don't know how you do that.
I'm like, how do you bench 600 pounds? He actually had some good perspective for me though, because I was talking to him for a little bit, and he said that the way he lifts in a meet is contrary to how other people lift. And I'm not saying that this is the way you should train in a meet, and definitely not saying that this is the only way you should think about attempt selection if you're a meet coach, or the way you should go for your meet numbers as an athlete. But he was like, he doesn't care if he goes 9 for 9, because 9 for 9 to him just looks good on paper. He said he goes for the numbers he wants, and if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Again, he still attempts it. And again, that's not to say that's how everybody is, because he's obviously more experienced. He's a master's lifter, so he's definitely has he has wisdom. But bad meets happen, good meets happen too. I wouldn't say that this meet across the board was bad for everybody, because we had some lifters who had some really good PRs. Even if they had a bad meet, they still had PRs in some fashion. This meet, I would say, was a good learning experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
What was your takeaway at the end of the day?
I could not do this if I was doing a meet. I couldn't be doing attempts or just coaching someone else while doing the same meet at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you're worried about that, and then you're also worried about yourself.
Yeah.
So whenever you're tracked on, certain things, your mind's just focused on one thing, and then it goes off. And you have to go through another process.
Yeah.
The main thing is just timing. Just time everything right. Try to get your timing done. See how fast the flights are going. See when to warm up. Try to not be too ambitious sometimes.
I know Anas is very conservative with his attempts. Anas is super conservative.
Yeah. Which I kind of like my certain type of coach. I want to be kind of conservative to some level, but
sometimes
sometimes it's just there or it's not.
That's cool. I think the biggest curve for me is to also take into account building a total, with attempts, making sure that you're not overly ambitious when you don't need to be, and just adding incremental weight onto a total meet after meet after meet, and not just trying to go for the gusto and then put it on the board. And me, I think that comes from our coach. That comes from Anas putting that in us. But again, to Jason Mike's point, if you're the type of lifter who likes to just go for it, and if it's a meet, you just want to risk it and put it all on the table, then that's fine too.
Watch the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta say, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click that like button, click that subscribe button. Make sure you click that bell to get the notifications.
Get the notification for the channel, guys. And Next on camera.
Yeah. See y'all tomorrow.
It's weird. It's weird.